Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So this video is the continuous part of the previous video. In the previous video, we saw how we can pass the data from first screen to the second screen. And now in this video, we will see how we can return the data from the second screen to the first screen. So let's quickly jump to the code. So what we will do here is we will add 3 buttons on the second screen. And on pressing these buttons, the app will be returned to the first screen with a message that user pressed button. So let's quickly add 3 elevated buttons in a column on the second screen, and let's give this button the name button 1, button 2 and button 3. So now first let's take a look at the push function in the first screen. So here, as we can see in the description of the function, the return type of the function is a future of a generic type t, and here t is the data which we are expecting to be returned by the second screen. So here we will add string because we want a string to be written from the second screen, and we will store this data into a variable, and because this function returns future, that's why we need to add await keyword in this function. And here data may also be returned null by the second screen, so that's why we also have to add a question mark after the string. By entering a question mark, we are telling that the variable can also store a null value. Now let's go back to the second screen and add a pop function in the on press of elevated button. Similar to the push function, in the pop function also there is a generic type t that defines the data which we want to return to the first screen. And when you see the description of this pop function, there is an optional parameter of the return data that we want to return. So here in the generic type we will enter string, and in the data we will enter the data that we want to return. In this case it will be user pressed button. Now in the first screen, after the push function is called, we will show a scaffold messenger to the user with the result that we got from the second screen. In the second screen, the user can also press the back button instead of the 3 buttons we have added. So in that case, the result may also be null. So we have to check if the result is null or not. And if the result is null, then we will show that user doesn't press anything. Else we will show the data that is written by the second screen. So everything is now done. Let's quickly recap what we have done here. So in the first screen we have called navigator.pop function, and in the generic type we have defined string as the data that we are expecting to return from the second screen, and we are storing the data in the result variable, and this result variable can also be null. That's why we have added a question mark here. And in the second screen, in the on press function of the elevated button, we have called navigator.pop function with the data that we want to return to the first screen. And that's all. Now let's run this app and see if it works or not. So let's go to the second screen. So here you can see when we press button 1, we are returned to the first screen, and the message user clicked button 1 is shown. Similarly with the button 2 and button 3 also. But when the user pressed the back button, the data returned by the second screen is null, and that's why we are seeing this message, user doesn't click anything. So that's how we can return the data from the second screen to the first screen. So that's all for the today's video. If you have any question about Flutter, then you can ask me in comment section below, and if you want to see more videos like this, then you can also subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching. See you again in the next video.